reaction mechanism. Mechanism of a reaction. So first of all, here a reaction mechanism, to identify that mechanism, nothing but it is a step by step study. Mostly depends on the number of steps we can study the mechanism, but based on the number of steps we can classify the reactions in two types. One is a single step reaction and one is the multi step reactions. Generally single step reactions are called elementary reactions, and the reactions which undergo two or more steps or multi steps, they are called complex reactions. Reactions can be classified into two ways based on the number of steps involved. That is elementary reactions elementary reaction means which can complete in single step, and they are called elementary reactions. But in case of elementary reactions, the order of the reaction we can take as the stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants directly, and you can remember these points for elementary reactions. For elementary reactions, order of reaction is equals to stoichiometric coefficients. Stoichiometric coefficient of the reactants. If you want to say individual order, we can take individual stoichiometric coefficient, and if you want to take the total order, we have to take the sum of the all stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants. Let us take an example here. We have a reaction like this: A plus 2B gives rise to product, and if they mention that it is an elementary reaction, it is an elementary reaction, then you can say order of this reaction, order with respect to A is 1. Why? Because the stoichiometric coefficient for reactant A is 1, so we can take directly. But actually order is experimental phenomena, but here if they mentioned is elementary reaction, we can take directly. And similarly order with respect to B, here you can take the stoichiometric coefficient is 2. And if I ask what is the overall order for this reaction, that is the sum of the all stoichiometric coefficients of reactants involved in this reaction. And total order or overall order is equals to 3. Like this we can say for elementary reactions. So these elementary reactions can have single transition state. You can explain this with the graphically. We have the reactant here, the product. So to convert reactant to product, it can go through the only single step, and this state, and this is called transition state. Or we can say activated complex. Transition state or activated complex, that can be converted into the product, a single step reaction. And the second type of reactions, complex reactions. The second one, complex reactions. Complex reactions means these are the reactions which can complete in 2 or more steps, more than 2 steps. Reactions which can complete in 2 or more than 2 steps. and they are called complex reactions or multi-step reactions. But in case of complex reaction, and every step is an elementary step. In complex reactions, you should remember these points. Each step is an elementary reaction. So, in all reactions, at least one of the step involves the formation of intermediate. So, it involves at least one intermediate. So, what is the intermediate? So, it is a substance which you produce within the reaction and which consumes within the reaction itself. Means what? After start of the reaction, some new substance can generate that can be present entire the reaction, but at end of the reaction again it may undergo decomposition, it may disappear. That is called intermediates. It can generate and it can consume within the reaction. So, in complex reactions, the relatively slow step is called rate determining step, or out of all steps the step which is very slow is called rate determining step, or simply we can say RDS. The slowest step in a complex reaction is called RDS step, and the rate of reaction, the overall rate of reaction can be monitored by this RDS step only. So, rate of reaction or rate of reaction of a complex reaction can be monitored by RDS step only. Rate determining step. So, means here the rate law equation we can write according to the RDS step, even though it has the other steps. Why RDS step can be monitored for the rate of the reaction means, we can take one example like this. For example, you have started here somewhere the journey from point A and to reach the point B. Now, we are moving from this point with a speed of some 100 kilometers per hour. Then somewhere, so in between you struck due to some traffic and some other reasons. Then ultimately the time to reach this point depends on what? So, how much time you struck here? It will not depends how much speed you are moving initially. The time taken to reach that point depends, means that is the rate of the reaction. Depends on what? That depends on the point where you struck, how much time you spend there, how much time your journey becomes slow, right? So, in rate law equation, intermediate should not be present. Intermediates should not be present. Generally, let us assume that RDS step involved some intermediates. Then you cannot write the rate equation with intermediates. Then how to do? You have to remove that intermediate by using some other parameters or other reaction conditions. That we will discuss later, how to write the reaction mechanism, how to write the rate law equation if intermediates involves. But the rate law equation should not includes with the intermediate, but rate law equation can includes. Rate law can include with reactants or product or catalyst. So, generally we can express the rate law with respect to reactant, product or catalyst, but you should not write the intermediate in the rate law equations. So, these are the some conditions. Let us see one graphical representation for this multi-step reaction. Let us take here, initially A is converting into the B and B is converting into the C and C is converting finally to the product D. Let us assume here A is the reactant. Actually, the overall reaction is like this. A gives rise to D. This is the overall reaction. But this reaction can taking place in 3 steps. In the first step, A is giving B and B is giving C and finally C is giving D. Now, here B and C, we can call them as intermediates, and these are the intermediates. Why? Because they are not there in the initial start of the reaction and not the end of the reaction. So, they generated throughout the reaction. So, after starting of the reaction, B generated and C generated. They produced within the reaction, again they consumed. So, you can write the overall reaction like this. Your CC cancelled and BB cancelled. What left? A is giving D only. But this is a stepwise, not it is a single step. It is a stepwise path. This a stepwise study we can call mechanism. The stepwise study of reaction is called mechanism. Now, this we can express with respect to graphically. For a complex reactions, sometimes questions can be asked here. This is the energy, again reaction progress. Initially we have the reactant A, then it is giving some intermediate B, again this B is giving another intermediate C, and this C can give finally the product D. So, here we have B and here we have C. This is a multi-step reaction. The graph looks like this. Already we have discussed at the time of organic, single step reactions, multi-step reaction, concerted reactions, non-concerted reactions, SN1 and SN2 reactions. SN1 is a multi-step, SN2 is a single step reactions. Those things already we have covered. And here this state we can call transition state, but this is the first transition state. We can call transition state 1 or activated complex 1, and this is called transition state 2, and this is the transition state 3. So, first what happens, A is giving B, this is B is the intermediate and this is the first intermediate, and B again producing another intermediate C, and this is the intermediate to 2, second intermediate, and this is the first intermediate, and the second intermediate finally it is producing the product. So, they will ask from this graph, sometime they will ask you what is the intermediate here. So, we can say B and C are the intermediates. Now, from this graph, which is the slowest step? Anyhow, we did not mention here. We have taken this reaction in 3 steps. Out of these 3 steps, which is the slowest step, or what is the rate determining step? Instead of slowest, we can say what is the rate determining step? Is it A to B or B to C or C to D? How can we identify the RDS? RDS nothing but slowest step. So, which is the slowest step? Means the rate of reaction is less. Which case the rate of reaction is less? We can identify that is based on the activation energy. Now, we can see here A to B. A to B, this is the activation energy, and B to C, the activation energy is this much, and C to D, the activation energy somewhere here and somewhere here, and this is the activation energies. This is activation energy 2 and this is activation energy 3 and this is activation energy 1. Which case the activation energy is more? A to B is activation energy is more, means to convert A to B it takes more time, means it is the slowest step. Why? Because more activation energy. We can say A to B is the RDS. This is from the graph according to their activation energy. This is not exact the scale, but you can see visualization. So here the activation energy involving is more, so this is the slowest step, we can say RDS. If you observe somewhere in between activation energy is more, then we can say that is the RDS, rate determining step. So like these questions can be asked. Okay, now what is the activated complex, where is the, which position is the activated complex, and which position is the transition state, and which position is the intermediate, and which position is a reactant indicates, and which position product indicates, and which is a exothermic reaction, which is a endothermic reaction. Now tell me this overall reaction, is it exothermic or endothermic? So here reactants are having more energy, but products are having less energy, just based on the scale. So we can say this is exothermic reaction. The reaction is exothermic. Why? Because products are having less energy comparatively reactants. So by looking into the graph, you can answer all these questions. Next, molecularity. So what is the meaning of molecularity? It is a total number of reactants involved in an elementary reaction. It is called its molecularity. It is a total number of reactant molecules. Involved in an elementary reaction. Is called molecularity. So always molecularity should be positive number only. It should not be 0, it should not be fractional, or it should not be negative. Compulsorily there should at least one molecule should be present for a chemical reaction. So you can say, but whereas order may be 0, fractional, negative, positive, but molecular should be always positive. Positive whole number that should be. And molecularity is molecular should be always positive whole number. It never be negative or fractional or 0. Okay, but whereas order can be anything. And next, one more important. Most of the cases you can see the reactions with unimolecular or bimolecular. Unimolecular means if the number of reactant molecules is 1. Bimolecular means reactant molecules 2. And very few cases 3 molecules may involve, but 3 and beyond 3 is not possible. So in most of the cases, molecularity is 1 or 2. Molecularity with 3 is very rare and beyond 3 is not possible. Molecularity with 3 is rare and beyond 3 is not possible. Why? Because already we have discussed at the time of collision theory. So, bimolecular collisions are very effective in nature, whereas a ter or quaternary molecules more than 4, 5, that is not possible. Collision is not effective. So, you can see here bimolecular collisions, they are 100%. You can see maximum collisions here, and you can take the 3 molecules. Here collisions are not that much effective as you compare to the bimolecular. If you increase the more number of molecules, 4, 5 and so on, here the collisions are not that much effective. So, you can see here 100% collision, 1-to-1 collision. Here it is not a 1-to-1 collision. Here also it is not. First it can collide with this one, and then this one and this one. At a time it cannot collide with all molecules. So, these are not you cannot observe the proper collisions at this case. There is a molecularity more than 2. So, 1 and 2 is more efficient, but 3 is very rare, and more than 3 is not possible. That is the molecularity. And one more point, for elementary reactions, molecularity equals to order. In case of elementary reactions, molecularity should be equals to order of the reaction, but it is not equal for the complex reactions. Why? Because in case of complex reactions, individual reaction is elementary, but for complex reactions case, the order of the reaction can be monitored by only the RDS step, but molecularity may be different for different steps. It may not be the same. That point also you should remember. We will see determination of rate law from given mechanism. How to determine the rate law for a given reaction mechanism. So, here we have various cases. Why? Because the mechanism may be involved elementary reactions or complex reactions. In that complex reactions, we have the RDS step. Sometimes the RDS step may involve with only reactants. The RDS step may involve the catalyst and the intermediate also. We know that the rate law equation should not present with the intermediate. So, we have to remove the intermediate in the rate law equation, then how to remove that intermediate and how to write the overall rate law equations. So, that we can discuss here. So, we have the different cases, and first one, the case 1 we will see. Okay, na? Anyhow, for elementary reaction we can write directly the rate law, but come to the complex reaction case, there is a problem. Generally in complex reaction case we have the rate determining step. When rate determining step RDS involves reactant, only. So, in the mechanism the RDS step involves only reactants, then you can write directly. Let us take example. We have one reaction like 2A plus 3B. Sorry, let me take 2A plus 3B gives rise to A2B3. This is one overall reaction. For this, the mechanism is given like this. What is the mechanism? Initially, A reacted with B. It can give AB2, this is one step, and next AB2, sorry AB, not AB2. Again can treat with B, we will get AB2, and this AB2 further can react with A and B, can give A2B3. This is a final product. So, now here AB is formed, AB2 is formed, And what is the AB and AB2? These two are the intermediates. And out of these three steps, let us assume the first step is the slow step, and the second, third are the fast steps. So, according to our previous discussion, for a complex reaction, the slowest step is called a rate determining step. So, we can say this reaction now rate determining step. In the rate determining step, so which are involving A and B, these two reactants. So, only reactants are involving in this rate determining step. So, now we can write overall rate of the reaction, the rate law, the overall rate law of the rate complex reaction is the RDS reaction only, rate determining reaction. So, now for this rate equation or rate equal to, let us assume this is a rate constant 1, 2 and 3. Then rate is equals to K1 A power 1. For RDS elementary reaction, we can write the stoichiometric coefficients. Here is the 1 and for B also 1. So, this is the rate or rate law equation. For this overall reaction 2A plus 3B gives rise to A2B3, means this is experimentally second order, but theoretically looks like fifth order, 5 coefficients are there. So, this is one case when rate determining step involves only reactant. You can write like this. For this one example, the general they will ask you like this. We have one reaction 2NO2, when you treat with fluorine you will get 2NO2F, and mechanism for this reaction is given like this. First step, NO2 will treat with fluorine, you will get NO2F, and the second step, F again treated with NO2 and that can give NO2F, and here rate constant K1 and here rate constant K2. And if they mention like this, this is the slowest step and this is the fast step. Then for this, what is the rate of reaction and what is the overall order? Rate law expression or order. So, how can we express this? Rate is equals to. So, for slowest step only reactants are there. So, rate constant K1, NO2 and F2. And this overall order is 2 with respect to NO2 first order and with respect to fluorine it is first order. That is the case 1. Next we will see case 2. So, when rate determining step involves reactant and intermediate. If both are present in a rate determining step, then how to write the rate law? Again, let us take one example here. Directly we will go with the reactions 2O3. I can form 3O2. This is a overall reaction for this mechanism. In the first step, O3 can give, this is a reversible reaction, O2 plus O. In the second, again O3 can react with this nascent oxygen and can give 2O2. And out of these two steps, the first one is the fast step and the second one is the slow step, and this is K3. So, slow step means rate determining step, we know that. Now, this is a rate determining step. Now, this rate determining step or DS involves O3. Anyhow, this is a reactant, but what is the nascent oxygen, and this is the intermediate for this reaction. Now we can write rate according to the RDS. We can write the rate is equals to K3 into ozone and nascent oxygen. Actually, this is a rate law expression for RDS step, but here intermediate is involved, but intermediate should not be includes in the rate expression. Then we have to remove this one. Then you can remove this rate the concentration of O by using the first equation, that is the equilibrium equation. So from the equilibrium equation, the rate constant of K1 by K2, the K equilibrium, is equals to concentration of O2 and concentration of O by concentration of O3 is the ozone. Now you substitute this nascent oxygen concentration value here. Then now the rate will change like this, K3 O3. In place of nascent oxygen we are writing this. So what you will get, K1 by K2 into O3 by O2. This is the nascent oxygen value. So now overall rate, now we can write rate is equals to K1 into K3 by K2. Anyhow, K1, K2, K3 they are rate constants only. Again overall this is one more rate constant. O3, O3, O3 power 2 and by O2 means O2 power minus 1. Now here in this rate equation reactant is there and product is there. So we can write reactant and product in the rate law equation, but you should not write the intermediate. So this is the final rate equation for a given reaction based on the mechanism. Now we can say here order of O3, order with respect to ozone is 2 and order with respect to oxygen is minus 1, and the overall order or total order of a reaction, overall order is equals to 1. So here the order can be negative also. Overall order is 1, but with respect to ozone 2, with respect to oxygen it is minus 1. We can take one more example here. One more similar question. 2NO and O2 will give 2NO2. This is overall reaction. The mechanism for this. First step, NO and NO can give N2O2, but it is a reversible reaction, K1, K2. This is a K1 and this is K2. First step. And the second step, N2O2 plus O2 can give 2NO2, and this is a fast and this is a slow step. Now identify the rate law and order with respect to NO and order with respect to O2. So here if you solve, you will get rate is equals to K1, let us assume this is K3, K1 K3 by K2 into NO power 2 and O2 power 1. Means order with respect to nitric oxide is 2 and order with respect to oxygen is 1. Overall order is 3. Case 3 here. Is that when RDS is not given, when rate determining step is not given, Generally first two cases they give the RDS. What is the RDS అనేది we know. Then accordingly we can identify the rate law equation. If there is no RDS, it's a complex reaction but no RDS, then how to write the rate expression? And that we can go through the one steady state approximation, that is called steady state approximation. By using this concept we can write the rate equation. Steady state approximation. So first of all, we know that there are some steps involved. Anyhow, in the complex reactions, the intermediate will be involved. Based on the intermediates, we can write that one. What is the intermediate? Which can be produced in the reaction and also which can be consumed. Generally, initially the intermediates can be generated in the reaction. Means initially the intermediates is producing means, so more amount of the intermediates can be produced in initially. So after production of that intermediates, that can be constant for some time. After that, at end of the reaction, all the intermediates can be consumed. Means we can write the graph for the production and consumption and the retaining of intermediate in a chemical reaction. Let us take, this is the concentration of intermediate and the reaction progress. See, initially we do not have any intermediate. As a time being, as a reaction progress, the intermediates can produce suddenly, but the reaction may undergo several steps, and each step the intermediate, the concentration will not change, it will undergo one form to other form, just like that. So the concentration of intermediate will be constant throughout the reaction. After some, almost at end of the reaction, again it will consume, so again the concentration will decrease. And you can see this region, so here to here the concentration of intermediate is almost constant, and this region we can call steady state, no change. There is a concentration of intermediate will not change, means you can apply this form. The change in concentration of intermediate at that particular time is 0. So d intermediate by dt equal to 0. By using this formula, we can write the rate expression, this concept. We will take up one example here. Same ozone reaction. Let us assume the overall reaction for the ozone conversion into oxygen is this one. So the mechanism for this reaction is given like this: O3, O2 plus O, where the rate constant K1, and next this O2 and O can give O3, where rate constant K2. The third one, again ozone nascent oxygen can give rate constant K3, 2O2. Okay, no? So let us assume this is a 3-step reaction, and here we don't know what is the RDS, nothing is mentioned, 3 steps are there. From these 3 steps, now we have to write the rate expression. So here you know that O, what is the nascent oxygen, and this is the intermediate, and here also this is the intermediate. So here the concentration of intermediate throughout the reaction is almost constant, only at the initial and at end of the reaction. Initially the concentration will increase suddenly, at end of the reaction it will consume, but in between almost the concentration of nascent oxygen is constant. By using that constant, means here the change in concentration of nascent oxygen is equals to 0. Now you write the rate expressions for each reaction. First, decreasing in concentration of ozone, that is equals to overall rate equation should be equal to what? In the first case, it is a K1 into O3. So, in the first ozone involved in the first reaction, but ozone also involved in the second reaction. We are taking overall decreasing in concentration of ozone. So, if I ask to write the change in concentration of ozone in the second reaction, how we can write here the change in concentration of ozone? dO3 by dt, but here positive sign, that can give rate constant K2 O2 into O, but we required minus dO3 by dt. So, you can write overall rate, again you can include that here, minus K2 O2 and O. You can take minus both side, you can add. Again in the third equation, again O3 is involving, but here this is positive, K3 O3 and O, and this is the overall decreasing in concentration of ozone, minus dO3 by dt for these three reactions we are writing together. And the second one, similarly for oxygen, it is a product here. Anyhow, the rate equation can involve product also, but intermediate O is there. Now, you write the rate equation with respect to the O. That is, in the first reaction, the nascent oxygen is produced. So, this you can write. So, here the increasing in concentration of oxygen dO by dt is equals to K1 into concentration of ozone. Similarly, in the second case, but here it is decreasing negative, that is K2 into O2 into O, and the third case again the concentration decreasing negative K3 into O3 O. Normal rate equations that you can write it together here, then you will get. We know that this is the intermediate, the change in concentration of intermediate is 0 according to the steady state approximation. So, we can take that overall is equals to 0. Now, from this you identify the concentration of nascent oxygen. So, here we can take nascent oxygen as a common out, then concentration of nascent oxygen is equals to K1 O3 by K2 O2 plus K3 O3. Now, this concentration of nascent oxygen, now we can substitute in that first equation, there is a change in concentration of ozone. Now, the change in concentration of ozone, now dO3 by dt is equals to, we have first one K1 concentration of O3, in the first reaction no involvement, and whereas in the second case we have K2 O2 and concentration of nascent oxygen, there you can write this value, that is K1 O3 by K2 O2 plus K3 O3. In the third factor K3 O3, and again we have the nascent oxygen, that is K1 O3 by K2 O2 plus K3 O3. So, just you can see this. So, change in concentration K1 O3, K2 O2 where nascent oxygen is there, they are applied. Again K2 O3 where the nascent oxygen is involved, there you can write the nascent oxygen value, the concentration of oxygen. So, this is the final rate equation. This you can simplify and you will get here K2O2, K3O3, K2O2, K3O3. So, LCM is the same, that you can multiply with this K1 O3 into K2O2. That means you can write K1 K2 O2 O3, and this one and this one if you multiply K1 K2 and O2 O3. Next this one and this one if you multiply it plus K1 K3 O3 square minus here K2 O2 K1 O3. So, K1 K2 O2 O3 plus this one K1 K3 O3 square by denominator K2 O2 plus K3 O3. Here K1 K2 O2 O3, K1 K2 O2 O3, they will cancel out. And here K1 K3 O3 power 2, K1 K3 O3 power 2. So now overall decreasing in concentration of ozone minus dO3 by dt is equals to 2 times of K1 K3 O3 power 2 by K2 O2 and K3 O3, and this is the overall rate equation or rate law for that particular reaction by using the steady state approximation. This is important, how to write the rate expression where the rate constant K3. Now you write the concentration, decreasing in concentration of dA by dt, and here the B is the product, dB by dt, what is the value, and C is forming, plus dC by dt, what is the value. So rate expressions with respect to A, B, C. So this is very, very important, how to write it. So in the first reaction, it is a equilibrium reaction, but there are two reactions are there, two steps. One is 2A is converting into the 3B, and the second one 3B is converting into the 2A. You can write that equation like 2A, where K1 3B, second one 3B, it is a K2 2A, third equation 3B is giving 4C. Now this is overall three equations. Now you have to write minus dA by dt with respect to first equation. What you can write here, dA by dt ante 1 by 2 minus dA by dt is equals to ఏమని రాస్తాం, you can write K1 into A power 2, but what we required, only dA by dt is required, so you can bring this to this side. Overall you will get 2 K1 A power 2, isn't it? Now second case, this one. Now here the A is acting as a product, and this is plus 1 by 2 dA by dt is equals to K2 into B power 3, but we required minus dA by dt, so that is minus 2 K2 B power 3. In the third equation there is no involvement of A, so this is a rate expression overall for dA by dt. Similarly dB by dt, this you can write B involving in the first, second and third. First product, the formation you can write directly, that is into A power 2, and the second equation it is the reactant side, so you have to take minus again 3 K2 B power 3, and again in the third equation it is a reactant side, so coefficient is 3 K3 B power 3. So this is the expression with respect to B. Similarly with respect to C, how we can write, and C is involving in the last equation only, there is a product side directly K3, but this is 1 by 4, so 4 K3, coefficient is 4 B power 3. So like this you can write the rate expressions with respect to A, B and C. This is also very, very important, so you should keep in mind this. Okay, we can stop the class here, the remaining we will see in the next class.